Let's dig into the consumer price index and inflation. Now, what is inflation? Nobody wants to talk about it, but it is what it is. So inflation is the rise in the general level of prices of goods and services in an economy over time, right? Inflation, it's going up. Things are getting more expensive. You hear people talk about it all the time, probably. Now, the consumer price index is a monthly number that reflects the changes in the prices paid by urban consumers for a representative basket of goods and services. So basically, there's a standard list of items that if you purchase them every month, like on the same day of every month, you compare the prices. So they might go up 2 cents this month, or half of a cent, or whatever. Maybe it goes down by a penny. And that's how they track the consumer price index, which allows us to talk about inflation over time. Okay? All right. So here is the CPI table from 1975. We have this down here all the way up to 2022. Now, one thing to note is that between 1983 and 1984 is considered like the base year of 100, right? You can see that from 83 to 84 is where we jump over that. So this table, the second column is the annual CPI table, or the annual CPI value, so the consumer price index. So it's basically the average of that year. Now you'll notice the trend of this table. If we start down in 1975 and we just look and we go up by year, and then from 94 to 95, the trend is that it is going up. And sometimes it goes up quite a bit. And what does this mean for you? Things are more expensive. That's what it means. It means the same things that you bought for 25 cents in 2000 are a lot more expensive now, right? That's why I loved, I'm now one of those people that I remember when I could get gas for 96 cents a gallon. Like legit, I remember that. You hear people talking about that, and that's kind of what CPI is all about. So we can use this to talk about comparative pricing if items increased with inflation. So we set these up as proportions. So let's look at this. In 1980, the year before I was born, a Disney World ticket cost $7.50. What does that equate to in 2019 dollars? Now, this assumes, when you're playing with CPI, you are assuming that everything is increasing with inflation. All right, now this is how I do these. There's multiple ways to set these up, but this is my basic deal. I am comparing 1980 to 2019. So I like to give myself a box, right? I'm creating a proportion where my left ratio is 1980, my right ratio is 2019. I am a creature of habit, so I always put dollars on the top, and I put the CPI values on the bottom. I need to use CPI so that we have the comparison of inflation. Now, I know that in 1980, the Disney World ticket cost $7.50. So that's in the top on the left. What does that equate to in 2019 dollars? I don't know. For CPI, I go to the table. So 1980 is 82.4, and 2019 is 255.657. Now that I've created my proportion, easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? We cross multiply, so 82.4x gives me 1,917.4275. I divide both sides by 82.4 to get x by itself, and I find out that x equals approximately $23.27. So y'all, if Disney World tickets had increased with inflation in 2019, they should have cost $23.27. Now, I did not go to Disney World in 2019, but I will bet my left arm they cost a little bit more than that. Maybe. Let's do some more. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, the starting annual salary for a college graduate in 1985 was $25,000. What would that be in 2022 adjusted for inflation? Okay, so 1985 versus 2022. I like to put the years on there so it keeps me present of where I'm at. So 1985 is 25,000, and I don't know about 2022. So I go, 1985 has a CPI of 107.6. 2022 should be 296.797. I cross multiply. I'm out of room. So I'm going to take my 107.6x equals, I don't know, I can't find it. 7,419,925. Divide both sides by 107.6. And I end up with an X value here of 68,958.41 for the annual starting salary for a college graduate in 2022. I hope that's the case. I really do. I don't think it is, but I hope that's the case. This makes me want to play this with, I started out of college in 2004 just to see if it's right. But anyway, that's kind of how our comparison. Let's do the same thing. Let's compare 1985 to 1975. So again, we'd have the 25,000 over 107.6, and then X over 1975 would be 53.8. Okay, well, we cross multiply. 107.6X equals 1,345,000. Divide both sides by 107.6, and we end up with a value of 12,500. So in 1975, if starting salaries for college graduates increased with inflation, you could expect to earn $12,500 out of college in 1975. Very different world back then. Okay, I think this is the last one here. So suppose a 20-ounce soda costs $0.25 in 1977. What is a comparison cost in 2022 when adjusting for inflation? Okay, it's 20. So we're talking 1977, 2022. So in 1977, it was 25 cents. In 2022, we don't know. Okay, CPI, right? Denominator CPI, 60.6 for 1977. 2022 is 296.797. And we cross multiply. So 60.6x equals, cross multiply. Looks like 74.19925. Divide both sides by 60.6 to get X by itself. And I end up with roughly $1.22. So a 20-ounce soda should be roughly $1.22 in 2022. We'll say. Now, did the price of soda increase faster or slower? Well, if I think about my last time at either a gas station or the grocery store, a 20-ounce soda seems to cost more like $2.50 or $3. So this, something actual, it's way more than $1.22, I'm saying. So did the price of soda increase faster or slower? Because the actual is greater than the expected, right? Because this is the expected. If we play with inflation, it's expected. Because the actual price is greater than the expected with inflation, it grew faster. Because if it had grown slower than inflation, it would be less than $1. Unfortunately, that's just not where we're at. So it has grown faster than inflation. And you can do that with anything. So if you want to say, okay, bacon in 1990 was this price, what should it be today? And then compare it to the actual, you can see if things are growing faster or slower than inflation. Because it's odd, but some things do grow slower than inflation in terms of price, while others, like Disney World tickets and 20-ounce sodas, grow much faster.